Hi, this week will be a presentation about the birth of the internet. Back in 1962, it was called the ARPANet. Well, in this presentation, I will say why it was created and how it was created and by who was it created. Well, the birth of the ARPANet, that's what it was called back then. Well, the birth of it was scientists and military experts were especially concerned about what might happen in the event of a Soviet attack on a nation's telephone system. Just one missile, they feared, could destroy the whole network of lines and wires that made efficient long-distance communication possible. In 1962, a scientist from MIT and ARPA named J.C.R. Licklider proposed a solution to this problem. A glass-thick network of computers that could talk to one another. Such a network would enable government leaders to communicate even if the Soviets destroyed the telephone system. In 1965, another MIT scientist developed a way of sending information from one computer to another that he could call packet switching. Packet switching breaks data down into blocks or packets before sending it to its destination. That way, each packet can take its own route from place to place without packet switching. The government's computer network, now known as the ARPANet, would have been just as valuable to aim attacks as a phone system. Login. In 1969, ARPANet delivered its first message, a node-to-node communication from one computer to another. The first computer was located in a research lab at UCLA, and the second was at Stanford. Each one was the size of a small house. Well, the message login was short and simple, but it could crash the fledgling ARPA network. Anyway, the Stanford computer only received the node's first two letters. By 1969, the end of the 1969, just 4 computers were connected to the ARPANet, but the network grew steadily during the 1970s and the 1971. It added the University of Hawaii, and 2 years later it added networks at London's University College and the Royal Radar Establishment in Norway as packet-switched computers networks multiplied. However, it became more difficult for them to integrate into a single worldwide internet. By the end of the 1970s, a computer scientist named Vinton Cerf had begun to solve this problem by developing a way for all the computers on all of the world's mini networks to communicate with one another. He called his invention Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP, which some of you know what TCP is. So, one writer describes Cerf's protocol as a handshake that introduced the distant and different computers to each other in virtual space. Cerf's protocol transferred the internet into a worldwide network. Throughout the 1980s, researchers and scientists used it to send files and data from one computer to another. However, in 1991, the network changed. The internet changed again. That year, a computer programmer in Switzerland named Tim Berners-Lee introduced the World Wide Web as an internet that was not simply a way to send files from one place to another, but was itself a web, information that anyone on the internet could retrieve. Berners-Lee created the internet that we know today. Since then, the internet has changed in many ways. In 1992, a group of students and researchers at the University of Illinois developed a self-taken browser that they called Mosaic. It later became Netscape. Mosaic offered a user-friendly way to search the web. It allowed users to see words and pictures on the same page for the first time and to navigate using scroll bars and clickable links. That same year, Congress decided that the web could be used for commercial purposes. As a result, companies of all kinds hurried to set up websites of their own, and e-commerce enterprises began to use the internet to sell goods directly to customers. More recently, social network sites like Facebook have become a popular way for people of all ages to stay connected.